morning, everyone. Welcome to morning meeting. Today we're going to be prepping salads for our box turtle ambassadors. And I'm in the main kitchen, so Nicole in here as well. I'm going to put you guys on the counter though, so that you guys can see what I'm doing. There we go. So we have a little recipe book for all of our ambassadors. So today we're making our box turtle ones. That's kind of what it will look like in the end. We're going to use the recipe to make it. So first is 2 tablespoons of dark leafy greens. So we have some kale with me today. So we're just going to use that for them. As always, you can leave your questions while I'm making things. It might take me a little bit to get back to them, just because my hands might get a little gross. But we'll answer them once we feed them. Cool. Yes, we do offer them a variety of options in their salads and their platters. Because just like us, they need a lot of different vitamins to keep themselves healthy. So we do use dark leafy greens like kale, or sometimes we give them dandelion or Swiss chard, just because it has a bit more nutrients in it than like lettuce and stuff like that. So the little base, and then we need some shredded either carrot, sweet potato, stuff like that. So they'll get about a tablespoon of that. And then a tablespoon of fruit. Let's go with strawberries today. A little cup right here. I'll go with a smaller one. So everything does have to be pretty finely chopped for these guys. Imagine their mouths aren't that big. So we do have to be careful of that. We don't want them to choke or not be able to eat it, actually. So we do make sure that their food is appropriate for their mouth size for all of our ambassadors. Where like Skeeter and Henry, they can chew and nibble, and so they can get a little bit bigger pieces than our turtles can get. They're gonna be so excited. Left some of the strawberry tops on them. That's always fun. Little treat for them. And then tomato. Let's see what we got today. Oh, and there we go. They love their tomatoes. Sorry, I'm trying to make it so that you guys don't get the glare. The light is above me. I'm trying, but again, tomato has to be chopped up pretty finely, but it is one of their favorite treats of them and our wood turtle, George. Chop, chop, chop. Let's see. So we got their tablespoon of chopped tomato, tablespoon of other veggie, tablespoon of fruit. So then we just need some protein. So today we're going to give them some mealworms, kind of like little croutons, and then some a little bit of plantain. Sure. I'm just going to sprinkle these on top for them. They're going to be so excited. Now we'll go put this in the office, and then we'll go find our friends. So today we will be back in our back office, so you guys can see them eating. Our clinic is feeding our baby turtle, or our baby birds right now, so we want to keep it nice and quiet down there for them. just going to put out the towel that they're going to be able to crawl around on. Now we'll go get our friends. So we are going back in our clinic, so I'm just going to be quiet while we walk through. There we go. Get them set up, and then I can go through, and because I saw some of you left questions and I want to say good morning to everyone, so I'm just going to get these guys out because they're ready to eat. Right, guys? There we go. So we have Lily, Big Mama, Clifford, and Ginger with us today for breakfast time. Good morning, Katie. Good morning, Azif. Good morning, Navette. Good morning, Rebecca and Xander. Good morning, Kathy. Oh, you're very welcome, Rebecca. So some of the programs that we will be doing in June, they are going to be a little bit different. You guys have been meeting all of our ambassadors over the last couple months. So I believe we have a couple of these kitchen prep ones for you guys to see. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Ryan. We miss you. Kathy, we do not currently have a garden area, but we will actually in our new facility when we're over there, hopefully in the fall. So we're going to be able to grow some of our own fruits and veggies for our ambassadors as well as our patients. As you can imagine, with no state or federal funding, food is a very large portion of what we spend our money on. So we're very excited to be able to grow our own stuff when we can for all of them. Good morning, Sue from Wyndham. Good morning, Jocelyn. Yeah, some of the breakfast is trying to escape, but they love them, actually. They love that they move around and keeps them occupied. My name's Kristen. Sorry, Kathy. I'm our education fellow here at the Center for Wildlife. Good morning, Carolyn and Molly and Deacon. There we go. All the trees. What, Cliffy? You don't want it? There you go. Yeah, there you go. So these guys are terrestrial turtles. So they do get a little bit different of a diet than like Blossom or Lotus, our painted turtles, or Percy, who's behind me this morning. Kathy, yeah, we're very excited to have a garden, Kathy. Just because then we can know where all their food's coming from. Of course, our ambassador, our patient care is the utmost importance to us. So like when we get animals that people want, like mice and stuff like that even though we spend lots of money fortunately on proteins, hey, that was mean. We do get our mice donated to us from Jackson Lab, thankfully. But like chicks and quail and those other sorts of proteins that we need to buy, we can't give them any wild animals just because we don't know where they've been. Unfortunately, rodenticide use has a higher impact on the rest of the food chain as well. So for that reason, we don't, guys, give each other some space. We don't give them anything like roadkill or stuff like that. Even though, like Violet, our turkey vulture, would definitely enjoy some of it. But we do have to be very careful on where we get their food from. Oh, Karen, that's a great question. I actually hadn't mentioned that yet. So the 4 of these guys, so Lily, Big Mama, Clifford, and Ginger, like all of our reptile ambassadors here at the Center for Wildlife, were once pets. So that's how all of our reptiles came to us. Hey, be nice, Ginger. He's like, I want all the food. So the 4 of them are actually all between 40 and 60 years old. So box turtles are incredibly long-lived. They can live to be 130, 150 years old. Unfortunately, it used to be legal to take these guys out of the wild. They are now threatened here in Maine, like most of our turtles. We have 7 species here in Maine, and 5 are threatened on some level. But that's partially because we are at the most northern part of their range, so you do see them more in Massachusetts just because it's a little bit warmer down there. But unfortunately, when these guys were kidnapped out of the wild as little quarter-sized little tiny hatchlings, people brought them home, and of course anything that's tiny and little and miniature adults are always pretty cute. So they brought them home, kept them for 10, 15 years, 20 years, depending on which turtle you're talking about. And then they realized that they didn't want to take care of them, or they couldn't take care of them. And a lot of times with reptiles, they are long-lived. So like our snakes, a lot of our turtles, they all can live to be 30, 40, 50 years. And then these guys are incredibly more long-lived. People find those cute little reptiles in the store, or they take them out of the wild, not realizing how long they're going to live. Unfortunately, grandkids may not want grandma and grandpa's pet reptile, their pet turtle or their pet snake. And they are pretty difficult to take care of. So we do recommend when you do get a reptile as a pet, you are really prepared for what you're getting yourself into. Because they do need special diets. They do need, as you can see, these guys are omnivores. So they eat all the food groups that we do. They need special lighting and heating to keep their shells healthy and stuff like that. So you always want to be really careful when you're getting a reptile. But that's why all 4 of them came to us. So Clifford, Big Mama, and Lily have been with us since pretty much we opened back in the mid-80s. And then Ginger came to us in 2008. So he is the newest of the group, but they're all getting up there in age. They're all way older than me. Yeah, that is pretty old, Kathy, you're right. So Carolyn asks, how can you tell if they're a boy or a girl? That's a great question, and there's a couple of ways you can tell that. So you can see Lily and Big Mama are not nearly as bright as Clifford. So Clifford has the bright shell, bright skin, bright eyes, as well as Clifford as well. And the girls are much more drab. Imagine they are trying to blend in with where they're laying their eggs. And so just like songbirds, the boys are really pretty and the girls are more trying to blend in. But then another way you can tell they're a boy or a girl is because you can see Clifford has this little indent on the bottom of his shell. Right along that midline right there is where that indent is. Sorry, bud, I'll put you down. So the boys also have that to help them with breeding and stuff like that. That's a couple ways you can tell with these guys, with the terrestrial turtles. They're all box turtles, Karen. A couple of them are Eastern. We have a mixture of Eastern, ornate, and then 3-toed. So Clifford is a 3-toed box turtle. So if you'll let me show you, it's 3 little toes. And then it's kind of difficult to tell the difference between the ornate and the eastern. There's all three of them are subspecies of box turtles. But we do know they are probably a mixture of them. Do they hibernate in the wild? And if so, how do you handle that at the center? So that's a great question, Kathy. So our guys don't actually hibernate. They would in the wild go underground into the dirt and the mud, hang out there during the winter time, and then emerge in the spring. So that's the spring and the fall is the most when you're going to see turtles moving around on the roads. Right now we're starting to see hatchlings and stuff like that emerging. But normally they would go underground in the wild because they are reptiles. They cannot control their body temperature like we can because they are ectotherms, so their body temperature fluctuates with the outside temperature, unlike us. Yeah. But our guys, I have worked with box turtles that have gone into more of a hibernation state. The definition of hibernation is actually kind of interesting because what we used to define as hibernation, a lot of animals don't actually do. There's only a couple that go into true hibernation. These guys are actually going to go into more of a brumation state, where their body just slows down. But our guys don't go into that state, though. They do stay awake all winter long. Kathy asks why Clifford's shell looks a bit smoother. So it just looks a little bit different in color. You can see a little bit of the lines on the side, but he is also the different subspecies. You have lettuce or greens on your face, silly girl. So he is a different subspecies. That's why he looks a little bit different than everyone else. Good morning, Joanne. Good morning, John. Mary asked, do their shells need special care? So how we do that is making sure that they have a bunch of different lighting options. They need UV to keep their shells healthy. So you can see Percy above me. He has a white light, so it mimics sunlight when it's a little chilly for him. We are keeping our reptiles inside for a little while this morning because it is a bit chilly for them, and they'll go out when it gets a little bit warmer, usually about 70 degrees. We try to make that cutoff at. But one of those lights is actually a UV. So they need that UV to keep their shells nice and healthy. And then once a year or so, they shed their scutes. So all these little puzzle pieces are called scutes. And they'll shed them. They're actually made of the same stuff our fingernails are made of. Sometimes, depending on how they're shedding, we will help them a little bit. We'll give them like a scrub with a toothbrush. But we do try to let them do most of it on their own. And they'll just grow off just like a nail might pop off if it's dead. Right. I think I got all the questions, and good mornings to everyone. Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, because you can see Ginger is the big boy of the group, kind of muscles his way into what his favorite foods are. Whether that's he loves his fruit, so especially the strawberries, the blueberries, the apples. And sometimes, a lot of times, you'll see them kind of just do this, where they just sit on top of the entire platter to make sure that they get the treats that they want. Right, Ginger? They are very adorable, Deborah. And thank you, Kathy. We love taking care of these guys. Right? Yeah, so you can see on Ginger that his little mouth. So they actually have a beak, just like a bird. So anything with a mouth can bite, including these guys. Theirs is a bit less fun when you do get bit, because that is a very strong, sharp beak. Right? Oh yeah, that's your good side, handsome. Kathy, they can smell, so if one of them will let me show you, they do have little tiny nostrils on the front of their beaks. There you go. Right? So they're going to use their eyesight and their smell for food. These guys are actually scavengers as well, so they will eat a variety of different foods outside of just the ones that we would eat: fruits, veggies, greens, proteins. So they will scavenge for things neat like dead leaf litter. If they find a dead protein, they might nibble on it a little bit. Cheryl, do turtle have... Yep, they do. They can smell. They with the nostrils. They're right there on the top of that beak. I'm glad you enjoy that close up, Kathy. Where are you guys going? Big Mama, you have food all over your face. Sorry. I didn't mean to spook you. Oh, you're like, this is mine. You got a little something. And it looks like you have something on your head, silly girl. Yeah. Mary, that's a great question. Do their beaks need to be filed? So we will file them down just like we do our raptors, our hawks, our owls, all those guys, if they need it. Especially if it needs to be even or something happens like that. But generally these guys do a pretty good job of keeping their beak in good shape. We help that with, sometimes we'll give them a little bit more crunchy food to help them break that up a little bit. So we want their beaks to be even. Oh yeah. And so we do monitor that. Bye, Clifford. Yeah, so I'm just gonna let them explore a little bit. But we will file them down if we do have to. We try not to, though. They don't necessarily enjoy it so much, but it is for their health. Lily, you look so silly right now, just sitting in the platter. Everyone's on the move. Bye, guys. Where are you going? Everyone's moving around. Yes, you can see on Big Mama all those rings. So they grow from... Where you going? So from about where my finger is right now, that'd be kind of the center of it. Oh, sorry, I'm in your way. How did you get strawberry on top of your shell, silly girl? They'll grow kind of like tree rings from that one spot. And the box turtles are a great way to show that, all those little tiny rings. There you go. Great go. Oh, good morning, Deborah. They are very cute, aren't they? We think so. And Cheryl, good morning. What are you doing, Lily? You have strawberry all over you. So these guys are eastern box turtles, Liz. So they are, even though they are land turtles, they're terrestrial. They cannot swim. They can wade into water, but they can't swim like a painted turtle or snapping turtle can. But the biggest difference between the turtle and tortoise is more or less like genetics and stuff like that. We don't have any tortoises that live around here. So even though these guys do live on land, they are still called a turtle. Good morning, Lily. You have food all over you. You're welcome, Liz. Hello. Yeah, so again, you can see those little brownish eyes on Miss Lily over here. And the yellowy brown skin, the brownish shell. So she's not nice and bright like the boys are. So that's really funny that you say that, John. He says that we should have a race turtle versus hare. It would be a good theme maybe for a presentation. So last summer we actually worked with a coffee shop over in Ogunquit. where they had a turtle latte that they would have a special for that day, and then we would bring a couple of our turtles, and then they had a little grass area in the lawn that we'd put them down, and that's actually what we would do. Hey, be nice. We would actually have turtle races with them. Even though they do have the reputation of being slow, these guys can actually move a lot faster than you would think, actually. Them as well as our aquatic turtles. These guys do live a bit better than they do on land, or they do in water, but they are quite fast. You'd be actually a bit surprised. You have food all over you too, Goof. Hello, Cliffy. Good morning, Naomi. Welcome. Hello. So handsome. Oh, yeah. Where are you going? Like, I have stuff to do. What are you doing, big mama? Come here. Yeah, so right now we are seeing a lot of our turtles in the road trying to cross. If you guys saw last Saturday, we had a Facebook Live showing you guys how to move turtles across the road. Because they are trying to cross right now to lay their eggs and stuff like that. Of course, these guys are much slower moving than a car would be. Oh, bye guys. Okay, bye. Good morning, Michelle. We miss you. Oh, thank you so much, John, for donating. That's so kind of you. Thanks for hanging out with me, Lily. The other three are doing their own thing this morning. So much exploring to do. Bye, guys. That's okay, I'll just show you off, Lily. All your greens. And your strawberry on top of you. Hello. You see, these are called box turtles because of this line right here. So that actually acts as a hinge. So they can actually shut their shells completely up in the front and the back, just like a box. That's why they're called box turtles, which is pretty cool adaptation. Imagine they can't swim really fast to get away from predators, like our painteds or Percy might be able to. But they can use that box to shut their shell up, because under all these little scoots, it's actually just bone. So it's a little bone ball that they can form themselves into. Kathy, do they go outside? They do. They usually do go outside. So during the warmer months, when it gets above about 70 degrees is usually the cutoff we give for them. They do go outside during the day, depending on what the temperature is going to be at night. Sometimes they do also stay outside at night. We do have their enclosures outside set up to keep them safe. But they do enjoy going outside, and we have a little, like a little water tub in there for them to wade into. Some cover if they want to get out of the sun, or if things are just kind of getting loud, they can go under cover and stay hidden. But they do enjoy, all of our turtles do enjoy going outside. It's just a little chilly today. They would normally also get their platter outside when they do go outside. So when you come to the centers, if you can't see any of them, that's how you can kind of tell, is if their platter is outside. But they only get that every other day. If you see the platter, though, they're definitely in there somewhere. Good morning, Greybelt Hiker and Penelope. Welcome. Guys, what are you doing? All that food all to yourself. Ooh, there's still a mealworm left. You want it? You want it? No? You guys made a mess. So if you guys have any last questions, we can go through and answer them for you. Otherwise, I'm going to let these guys go back to their enclosure in a few minutes. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Tomorrow, I believe we are learning how to clean a bird feeder with one of our corvid friends. So as always, thank you for tuning in. Let's see. Goodbye to these guys. Bye, Lily. Oh, you're very welcome, Kathy. Thank you so much. Bye, Cliffy. Bye, Ginger. Bye, Big Mama. These guys are so silly. They love to explore, which is really fun. And then, as always, thank you guys so much for donating. We really do appreciate it. So, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.